What's good, YouTube? Dom, Staven Sports Cards here, back with another video. Hope you're all doing well. And I had the pleasure of attending the Cranston, Rhode Island card show yesterday, February 2nd. And this is the oldest running card show in New England. Since 1976, they've been running it continuously as a charity card show. And it has changed every single year that I've been there, the last 3 years. First, it was in the Coventry High School gymnasium. Then it was not in the gymnasium. They weren't able to book that, so it was in some conference rooms down the hall from the gymnasium, 2 separate conference rooms. And then this year, it was in a new location entirely. And while the logistics of the show have, decreased and not been ideal, it's still one of my favorite shows of the year, and I'm going to continue going up to it. And it's not just because of, the great pickups that I'm going to show off and the great dealers that, set up at this long running show here on the Northeast, but it's because of the friends that I get to attend these shows with. And I wasn't with the typical crew this weekend, Picker Jim and Mark Hoyle and the boys. I was not able to line up schedules with them to attend, but I was able to, as you've seen in the thumbnail, meet up with my friend and yours, Shane, over at Shoebox Legends, a great friend that, is a hobby brother that I feel like I know already, but I had not met in person. And it was so much fun getting to hang out with Shane. Shane is a fantastic member of this community, a guy who truly collects it all, and is a great collector and friend, and had an immense time walking the show floor with him. We had a ton of laughs and a ton of conversations, both with the dealers and with each other. Went out for lunch after. It was just a really nice time getting to meet and get to know Shane better. And it's truly what's so great about this community we have here on YouTube, getting to connect with like-minded people from all over the country. And I can't wait for the next show experience with some of my YouTube brothers. The card show, was in this new location, and it was set up essentially with a tight hallway right when you walk in, with dealers on both sides. And then there was 2 rooms, one to the right, which was a traditional big conference room / mess hall that had like a concession window and the majority of the tables. And then to the left was an auditorium, which had mainly auditorium style seating that led down to about 5 dealers were set up in that room. So I feel for those dealers that were set up in the other room, but we'll get to them in just a few moments. But I got to the show pretty early on Sunday. I'm sure it was picked over a little bit on Saturday, but I had a ton of fun talking to dealers, looking around, ran into Shane and had a fantastic conversation right after getting to finally meet him with the dealer that was setting up there. And the dealer had all kinds of fun stuff, oddball items from the 70s and 80s, and I actually ended up buying some vintage Topps wrappers from him. 1978, the catcher there, love that. 1977, which I actually have a t-shirt with this image on it. 1975 Topps Minis. 1975 O-Peachy. And a 1972 Topps wrapper. Super cool. Great dealer named Bruce, who doesn't set up at many shows, but he does set up at that one, and had a ton of great conversation with him as a guy who truly loves baseball, the Hall of Fame, and a lot of the same stuff that I do in terms of the oddball and fun collectibles out there. And that was kind of my whole thing throughout the show, was just talking to these people. Tons of familiar faces. My buddy Charlie, who I've bought from, pretty much every single time I've seen him set up at a show, whether it be Cranston, whether it be Shriners, whether it be the National. And he had these full sheets of 1970 MLB photo stamps. This one has my guy Carl Yastrzemski at the bottom, Manny Sanguian, Bobby Bonds, really, really nice. He had some uncut sheets of those. That was a really awesome thing to grab for the Yaz collection. Was with Shane, so of course had to pick up some modern as well. We walked up to a dealer's table that had a bunch of fun refractors and parallels and stuff that me and Shane both enjoy. And there was one card that I specifically pointed out to Shane that will probably be in a upcoming video of his showing off. But I decided, hey, I'm going to put a stack together and we can bundle together and try to get the best price for both of us. So I ended up putting together a stack here with a 2013 Topps Gold David Ortiz, Topps 3D Test Dustin Pedroia, a Don Russ Mirror Red Kurt Schilling, number 2/100. And this Future Foundation die cut, great shine on it, of Hall of Famer Adrian Beltre, numbered to 1,000 on the back. And we're getting ready to check out with the dealer. The dealer gives us a price, and Shane takes it and buys those cards for me. Shane has been extremely generous. I've showed off some care packages from Shane on the channel. Said he has another one that he's cooking up for me. Shane, incredibly generous guy, did not have to do that, and I just really appreciated the gesture there. He was extremely accommodating and welcoming to me. Only drove like an hour and a half to get to the show, but he was really appreciative of that, and we had a really fantastic time. It had been that first card show experience he's had in a long time, and we had a blast. With it being a smaller show, with it being a little slower because it's a Sunday, we had a lot of fun, and we had bought a few things and walked around the main showroom, and I said, I have to do my due diligence, and I have to walk into the other room, even though it's pretty empty, it's pretty barren, there's not a lot going on in there. I have to go check out what's in there just in case. And this was kind of the moment of the show, because we were walking through, the dealers back there, had some cool stuff, not necessarily my cup of tea or the price that I'd be comfortable paying. But we get to the final table in the little loop back there, and the guy has a box of Hall of Fame autographs and baseball autographs and relics, and most of them are priced, but this card was not priced. 2021 Yadier Molina. This is from Topps Heritage. This is the 89 Topps Big Design Yadier Molina autograph. Not numbered, but it has the old school back too. And it was not priced. And the worst you can do is ask and then not want to pay. So the dealer is just finishing looking through a box of cards that someone that's attending the show is trying to sell. And he eventually gets over to me and Shane and says, hey, is there anything I can help you guys with? And I said, well, maybe this. I handed him the card and said there was no price on it. I was wondering what you were looking for it. And he looks at it for about 2 seconds, and he says, I'd do $25. And I took it back. I pretended to contemplate this purchase, and I pulled out $25, shook his hand, and walked away. And for those of you that don't follow Yadier Molina's autograph market, he, for a modern player, isn't in a ton of sets. He hasn't signed a ton. I know, throughout retirement, he will sign more. But this is a guy who is one of the greatest catchers of the modern era, a guy who's going to make the Hall of Fame, a guy that, as a Cardinals fan, as them being my National League team, loved watching his career. And to get a Yadier Molina autograph for $25 at a card show, I don't know if he just had a bunch of numbers flying through his head from the deal that he was trying to make, or if he just did not do his homework and price this properly. but I was extremely happy to add this to the collection. And before we got out of there was a dealer who had McFarlane's, and I didn't realize it at the time, but it was the same guy who set up at Shriners, and he had a ton of great Hall of Fame legend McFarlane figures. I collect these, and to continue my Cardinals success, this one has always been a favorite of mine that I did not own, because the leg kick follow through image is so dang cool. I got a Bob Gibson McFarlane to close out my show, and I just had such a blast hanging out with Shane, talking to these dealers. A day at a card show is a good day, no matter how the logistics are, no matter how much you pick up. It's just so fun to have that cardboard therapy, to have that time looking through boxes, looking through showcases, talking shop. It is just such a great getaway to wrap up a wonderful weekend. I hope you guys enjoyed my pickups. Let me know how I did in the comments below, and I'm looking forward to the next card show I get to share with a hobby friend. I'll see you guys next time.